Let's continue working in the Schema project with the Avro producer and Avro consumer, as well as the client.properties.schema file. In this video, we're going to show how to convert your Schema registry to point to the KSN Schema registry using JWT. Inside of this Avro producer file, we've already edited in the previous video the producers and consumers to use OAuth. But now we want to convert the Schema registry over. So I'm going to scroll down here, and we have our Schema endpoint here. I'm going to go ahead and comment out this Schema registry URL as well as this basic auth user info from the Kafka endpoint. We're going to continue to use basic auth credential source as user info as long as we're using the JWT token. For the Schema registry, for the KSN side, it's the same endpoint. So unlike Kafka, where there's two different endpoint URLs, it's overall the same URL, but now it's an HTTPS endpoint. And then instead of hitting port 9093, of course, we're going to be going to this endpoint, the /Kafka. So they're always going to be, or at least right now, they're going to be the same endpoint, just different ports. And then under basic auth user info, I'm going to uncomment that. I'm going to paste my JWT token in. Of course, here I'm going to have public : and then the JWT token that I have for my service account. Let's go ahead and go into terminal. I'll go into my KSN training folder. And for the producer, I'm going to grab my Maven command. We'll go ahead and execute the producer. And that should produce a message to our schema topic. Of course, that is the Kafka Student 3 schema input. And it's going to connect to the schema registry and register the schema here that we have in our Avro producer file. So it's going to register this schema. Once that's produced, I'm going to go ahead and start up the consumer. Here we've produced the 10 messages, so I'm going to go ahead and open a new window. You could also use this one because the producer stopped. So actually, let's use this one. I'm going to go ahead and go to my consumer. I'm going to try and consume my 10 messages. And you can see here that the consumer is able to connect to the schema registry as well and consume the 10 messages.